Yo, what up, everybody? How's everybody been doing, man? I know we out here surviving in this place we call the United States of America. It's a greedy country, man. It's a shame. It's a shame what's going on right now in this country. I remember learning that people who came here from Europe fled Europe due to religious persecution, high taxes, and they wanted freedom, right? They wanted freedom from the whatever government that they came from, whether it's British, German, Netherlands, whatever, Spanish, whatever government they came from, right? But the government that we know best was the British, right? So didn't the Americans rebel and said, hey, we don't want your British tea. We're going to dump it all in the Boston Harbor. So that's what they did, right? We want coffee. We're Americans. We like coffee. We're not going to take your shit, Britain. And that's... So the king started raising more taxes, right? So what did we do as Americans? We rebel. Armed conflict. American Revolution. So I'm trying to figure out why it is that Americans now are complacent. Are we scared? Are we scared of our government? I thought the government should be scared of us. I thought that's the way it goes. Don't we outnumber the government? So why am I saying this, right? So we're taxed on everything that happens. Everything that we do, we have to take money out of our pocket and be taxed for it, right? So I'm trying to figure out why we're not starting a revelation. I mean, not revelation, but a revolution right now. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why are the rents so damn high? Why is car insurance almost $400 a month? Why does the average house cost $400,000 to $500,000 in the United States of America, but the average income is $50,000? What is that gonna do? Why is it like that? Why is health care so high? That's an extra tax also, by the way. I think the United States is rich enough as a country to where it can provide free health care for all its citizens. But no, no. Remember, the citizens don't control the United States of America. Who controls the United States of America? The corporations, right. Right. It's a corporatocracy. It's not a democracy, and it's not a republic. It's not none of that crap. Constitution lied to you. What's another tax that we do all day, every day? Well, New York State, there's this thing to where you have to pay to get your car re-inspected every year. An extra tax levy, right? There's tolls. There's tolls on the road, right? So you have to pay a toll every time you go. Well, some states don't have tolls. Some cities, shall I say. But a lot of cities do. New York City has this thing called the congestion pricing. So in certain zones of the city, you're taxed. What's another tax they put on us as American citizens? You got your local taxes, you got your state taxes, you got your federal taxes. That comes from your income, right? So you're taxed on your income, and you're also taxed on every time you spend money anywhere. There's a certain tax coming out of it also. So every transaction is taxed, right? I thought this was the United States of America. Let freedom ring. Freedom. But no, we have all these laws. It's a police state. There's cameras everywhere. Big Brother's looking at you. Oh, but we got freedom here, right? Another tax they put on you, right, is fishing license. How the hell are they gonna tax you for a fishing license? Man, I tell you, man, this country, bro. This country is something else, man. What's another tax they put on you, right? Oh yeah, another tax is property tax, right? So we don't really. So say I went and bought 80 acres of land, right? Do I really own that land? Do I really own that land? No. In all reality, the government still owns that land because you have to pay a property tax. So say I put cash down on my house and my land. So I own the whole parcel, right? I still gotta pay property tax. Even if I don't pay mortgage insurance, because I think when you got your own house, you don't have to pay mortgage insurance for it. I think that's the rule. When you pay it in cash and everything's done. So you got to pay property taxes also. So that land is not yours, really. Did you know that if you had a resource under your land, like oil or something, that oil is not yours? Did you know that? So where's this freedom at? In the good old United States, where's this freedom? Politicians don't work for you. They work for corporations. They work for donors. Isn't it supposed to be that politicians work for the American people? I thought that was the rule. But no. Mm-mm. If a politician is talking, they're lying. Straight to your face. They all just need to be purged. Get them out of there. So you tell me that we are born, right? We're born. You only got a couple of years until where you start working again. Because actually, when you go to school, that's work. Go to preschool, all the way up to 12th grade, and then you go to college, and then you work. You still working. And the thing about it, none of that counts as experience when you get your first job. Oh yeah, that's another tax. Your education. That's a humongous tax. Wow. Whew. But we sit here and take it as Americans, we just take it. Are we scared? One man can't start the revolution. You need the whole populace to start a revolution. You need money to start a revolution. They need to be purged, man. The whole goddamn government needs to be purged. We need to start something new in this country. Because this shit right here ain't working. It hasn't worked for 400 years, and it's probably never going to work. What's that cliche, right? Rome? Everybody talks about Rome. What happened to Rome? America's going to F around and find out what happened to Rome. Same structure. Nothing is new under the sun. Nothing is new. Your thoughts aren't your own. You're just regurgitating thoughts. Like since the beginning of man. Think about it. Everything that you think isn't your own. You're just programmed. You're like a computer with a program. So we're born, we go to work, you spend money, you consume, you go to work, you spend money, you consume, you go back to work, and that's the cycle. That's the cycle. It's goddamn New York City traffic. God damn it. People are horrible, man. Anyways, the cycle repeats every 30 days. It's like you fill up your cup, right? Do this experiment. Fill your cup up. What happens to that cup like over time? It evaporates, right? It evaporates. So that's how we are as a society. We fill up our cup, we empty our cup, and then we fill it back up. And then we empty it and we fill it back up. Where's the time to spend life? If we're working for the corporations our whole life, how do you spend time with your family? I got the answer for that, by the way. But first we got to figure out what we gonna do. Like we got to figure this out. A civil conflict ain't gonna work. There has to be an armed revolution conflict. But the problem is we're not together as a people. We hate each other. So how are we supposed to come together and get our government back? So while we're running around like zombies and slaves every day, right? And don't say, "Oh, I'm not a slave." Mm-hmm. Bitch, you a slave. Everybody's a fucking slave. Shut the fuck up. The corporations got you just like they got everybody else. Alright? We're all slaves to this shit. Now we got to figure out how to get out. And like I said, I got the answer. The answer is actually for you yourself. And instead of struggling, how about you get wealthy? How about you become extraordinary? That's the question. You have to become wealthy in the United States in order to have a good life. That's the antidote. This country, man, I tell you. Got everybody working their asses off. If you're not working 3 jobs, then you're working 1 job, 12 hours a day. Man. And then you gotta be stuck in traffic with a whole bunch of other people that are annoyed and struggling to survive in this crazy system. Feeding the economy, feeding the corporations. So you got 2 options. Revolution or become wealthy. I'm ready to ride whenever y'all are.